Hola, yo soy Curlee. How are you? All right, so last time I was stretching outside. It was a few weeks ago. It's gotten a little cooler out. The fall of the year is beginning out here, but I made that recipe. I kind of tweaked it a little bit for my daughter's swim team. I have to cook breakfast early in the morning, and I tried these hash browns. Everybody just loved them. I tweaked it a little bit, but now they're saying, "When's your dad gonna make breakfast again?" Because they like these hash browns. Not necessarily me, but they like the hash browns. So I'm going to share that recipe with you. And it's super easy. So here we go. All right, you get about 30 ounces of shredded hash browns, and you put them in a container. You really want them to thaw out, though. You don't want them to be frozen so they can absorb everything. So usually just let it in there maybe a day before, or you can let it sit out for a few hours. And then all you do is put it in a pan, right? That's 13 by 9 inches, it looks like about, right? All right, so then we take some melted butter. Take the melted butter to add a little bit of flavor along all the hash browns. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to make sure we get everywhere we can. And that'll kind of find its way through a little bit later. I'll go around the edges here. All right. And we'll go up and down a little bit just to try to make sure we get all the areas. And that's kind of it. Ta-da! All right, so then we take the hash browns and we put them over here. I'm going to put them a little bit aside. And while I'm at it, I'm going to get a little bit of sour cream on my arm. Okay? I'll put that back. Oh, maybe I shouldn't because it's going in. All right, I'll take it off. All right, and then I'm going to clean that up. That's always something, you know. Been gone so long, I still can't do something without making a mistake. All right, so then we're going to take a bowl. Now that was kind of step one. And then we're going to take a bowl and we're just going to mix a bunch of ingredients. Here I've got a can of cheddar cheese soup, and I like using cheddar cheese. Some people will use something in reference to more like a cream of chicken. But sometimes, especially with this group, we've got about 13 girls, and they all, some of them are vegetarians. So I just said I'm going to put a cream of cheddar, and I think it was an excellent choice, by the way. All right, and then we're going to take 2 cups of cheese. Any cheese will do. I kind of took a Colby and a Jack cheese and mixed it with some sharp cheddar cheese. Okay, so 2 cups of that. Then 2 cups of the sour cream. There's a little bit less in there because, remember, some of it got on my arm. All right, so then we got that. We're going to put that in there. Look delicious? Well, maybe. It's going to taste delicious. I'm telling you, they just loved it. And at the end, I put my little extra secret touch on one of my old recipes, the Curlee's croutons. I put those on there at the end. Oh, that was just a great compliment to that already delicious dish that I was making. All right. It always feels good. That's some of the love about cooking is when people say they like it. They don't always say that, right? I got chopped onions, a little bit of chopped onions. Those kind of aren't real pungent, right? And there's only a half a cup of those in there. And then we're going to put a teaspoon of pepper, oui, pepper, and salt. Okay, those are all the ingredients right there. And mix that all up really good. I think I'm going to use the spatula. It'll be a little easier to mix and to spread as well. Okay, so I'm going to mix that together. It's going to all melt in there anyways. That's a lot of good flavor with those hash browns. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, these kids just enjoyed it so much. I hardly know them, but they were so kind to say, Bridget's dad, is he going to come back with those hash browns, right? So I don't want to let them down. I'm going to make them every time until I'm done. I got 2 more to go. And I'm done for the season. The season's almost over. Okay? But she's just a freshman, so hopefully the legend will live on for a few more years. So now I'm going to put this on here. Okay? And spread it around a little bit too. Okay? Pretty easy, right? Yep. And I'm going to put it in the oven for about 350 degrees. And then for about an hour. About 45 minutes to an hour. I like going about an hour, get it a little bit crispy on the top. I like that. These are similar recipes to that a lot of people do. I make it a little bit different with the cheeses. Also with the soup, right? I use the cheddar soup. And I also use, a lot of people like to use breadcrumbs And I do use breadcrumbs, but I use a panko breadcrumb, which I think is just outstanding. It's a little crunchier. It's a little more fun. And then I finish it when it comes out of the oven with that secret recipe of mine, an old recipe that I shared with you once before, the Curlee's croutons. Curlee's croutons. Say that real quick. Curlee's croutons. Curlee's croutons. That wasn't very hard. Okay, so then I got the hash browns there. Here's those panko crusts that breadcrumbs that I talked about. And I'm going to add a little bit of butter in there as well, about 3 tablespoons of butter. And we're just going to prep this up a little bit right now. I think I can use this to be fine. Yep. Okay. Just going to mix it up because you want it to get nice and saturated with the butter for flavor, right? But that butter also keep it from making it crunchy. It will make it crunchy. But it also, if you don't have that butter and that softness to it, that breadcrumb might burn as well. So we're going to add that, mix that up real good. And then I'm just going to wipe my hands. And I'm going to use those breadcrumbs to sprinkle over the dish a little bit. Okay? All right, so all over like that. Remember, every picture has a frame, so you always want to kind of incorporate what you're doing with the looks. That's how we eat, right? We eat with our eyes as well as our mouth, right? Yeah. So since then, I started exercising a little bit. I've been walking and doing more yoga. I might even do some yoga with Curlee. Yeah, I used to be a teacher in the day, but it was a long time ago. It's cool. Then Madonna made yoga really popular. And to this day, she probably gets a lot of credit for it. Maybe not as much as she should, because she did. Kind of like Dennis Rodman with tattoos. He made those cool too a little bit, even though there were other people doing it for long generations beforehand. All right, so there we go. And we're going to put it in the oven, but I'm going to do that tomorrow, because I'm going to drop my daughter off for swim meet or swim practice. And then I'm going to come home and cook with some fruit and bagels and all other stuff. But the famous Curlee's cheesy hash browns.
All right, there they are, all crispy and brown. It's time for Curlee's croutons. Yay! Now, mind you, there is no substitute for the croutons. This is the frosting on a cake, if you will. This recipe you can find on another previous video I did under, well, Curlee's croutons. Excellent with salad. You can almost eat them like popcorn. Ta-da! Let's look at what the other kids are saying. Helps them get good grades. It even makes them stronger. And of course, it makes them happy. And it reminds them to love their moms and dads. The whole swim team swims faster. And even my kid loves them. We'll see you next time.